So in this segment, I'm just going to get straight to it about the All-Star weekend, especially the All-Star WNBA game that happened on Saturday evening. And I'm just going to have to be the one to tell you guys and be blatant honest is that that was one of the most trash, terrible, garbage WNBA All-Star games I've ever seen in the WNBA in history. I BS you not. I mean, I was very disappointed in the outcome of that game. Like many of you, I'm pretty sure if you guys feel the same way, spam in the comments and let me know. I thought that that game was terrible, trash, and I expected way better. I expected way better from this All Star game because the fact that how many players was in this game, and when you think about all the chaos and all the turmoil that has happened over the past 2.5 years with the WNBA, you would think that this would be a chance, as we said, yes, for it to be a friendly thing with all the players there, but also making it competitive. And like, it was just to me disappointing. There are only about like 3 or 4 players in the entire damn game that were actually trying to make it a little bit of competitive. And that was Caitlin Clark, pretty much. Caitlin Clark, she just went and did her thing. She had it lights up in that first beginning. She lit it up to get the game started. Also, we got to talk about Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell was on the opposing team, but Kelsey Mitchell was out there making that little bit of competitive, not trying to get blown out. Also, another one we would have to talk about. What's her Olivia Miles, the rookie Olivia Miles. Olivia Miles was out there, and especially I like the way her and Caitlin Clark was teaming up together and how they were playing. They were feeding off each other. Man, that was dangerous. That was very dangerous. And you can tell that them two, they were messing around a little bit, especially a little Miles, but she just wasn't trying to yeah, let's make it a little bit competitive, just like Caitlin Clark. They made it a little competitive at times where they played a little defense to make it interesting for the fans and the audience, the people that spend their hard-earned money, the people that really wanted to see some competitive ball play, which the same thing has been a problem in the NBA as well with the male players. Like the All-Star game has just been trash for probably over the past 2 decades. And something has to need to be changed about the All-Star weekend. And I agree. You either get rid of All-Star weekend or you change it up, make it some kind of way more likable, more appealing. But as I said, that was pretty much all we saw through this All-Star game. A lot of players was just slacking on defense, just walking around. You could tell they wasn't trying to play. What's the girl on the opposing team? Marina Mayberry. It almost seemed like that was the plan, like because all the players were talking about it in the pre-games, and you could think and swear up and down, hey, this was the plan. We're just going to go out here and we're going to try our best to push for Marina Mayberry to get the MVP, which she didn't even get the MVP because if you see what happened in that first in the beginning, the first half, she was lighting it up, especially in that first quarter, but she was getting it going. She was lighting up. But it almost seemed like in the second half, she just hit a straight downfall and just decreased. And then you really saw nothing else from Marina Mayberry. But as I said, other than that, this was pretty trash. And I got to give shouts out to Jacquel Jones as well. Jacquel Jones winning the All-Stars MVP. She also, she put up some points. She put up pretty much 22 points. So, and I think, I'm not sure how many rebounds was it? 13 rebounds. Yeah, she put up 22 points and 13 rebounds. As I said, Caitlin Clark, right behind her, put up 17 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. And following her as well, Olivia Miles put up 11 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. So if you can look at this, you can tell that Caitlin Clark, that little spark and that little how she got started, it encouraged Team Spoon Team like, hey, we're not gonna just sit here and play around. We're gonna make it a little bit for the fans. We're gonna compete a little bit. We're gonna try to beat them, and probably try to beat them by a lot, especially if this is what they're gonna be giving us. No defense, walking around on the court, and that's what it was. It seemed like a few players was not on the same page as far as the rest of the other players in the All-Star game. It seemed like most of them was in there. We just gonna BS around. We here to just shake hands and do all this other stuff offside that ain't got nothing to do with basketball. That's what it seemed like, except for those few players like Jacquel Jones, Caitlin Clark, Olivia Miles, Kelsey Mitchell. They were at the business. And also I cannot forget from the Atlanta Dream. I'm thinking of Alicia Gray. Alicia Gray was out there putting up points too, so definitely. But like I said, most of those players that I named that were really trying to play and compete, they were coming off a Team Spoon Team. Like I said, Caitlin Clark must have gave a good impression to them in that first, like, hey, let's compete. But it was just like I said, it was trash. It was trash. It was very hard to watch. For me, it was definitely hard to watch. I could not watch this, but I got through it. But it was so sad, and I was very disappointed because I expected better from this. Unfortunately, I did not get better from this. I thought this was going to be a real, at least a decent competitive game. But even like people look at the ending score and be like, hey, well, the ending score shows maybe it was a good game. No, it wasn't. It's just for the fact that they were Team Spoon was pretty much always had the big lead on the other team. So it was not really competitive. And some of those star players that was on the opposing team, I expected better from them. And I don't even want to get into Angel Reese. You see that she just as always, just out there looking goofy as hell, falling on the court again. Ain't nobody touching you, you know. Of course, you all know you saw this probably. It's probably been pushed a lot on social media right now, where shit, Asia Wilson wasn't even trying to block her shot, and she's still having a hard time making an easy layup and stuff. I mean, it was just all kind of crazy stuff up there, and you could tell even from the shooting, people were shooting on the opposing team. They were just shooting they wasn't taking it serious, and obviously the Team Spoon got the message from Caitlin Clark. Hey, like we're gonna do this for the fans. We're gonna make it a little competitive, and we're gonna give the fans a little show. And that's what they did. And I think that's probably what kept a lot of people, staying tuned in throughout this game. Because I think if Team Spoon would have came out playing like that too, all the way, we ain't gonna do nothing and just BS around. A lot of people would have turned off. I know I would have turned off, even though it was hard to watch. I still got all the way through it. But that was my opinions as far as basically with this All-Star game, and I just think it was terrible. I think it's very terrible, and I expected better. In the WNBA, Captain Ember, whoever else, they need to be ashamed of themselves. We need to see better than that. Other than that, I mean, I know like I said, we talk about Angel Reese. I didn't want to go that no far in that because I mean, she is just clearly not about basketball. People want to say she's a great player. Nah, she ain't about basketball. You so much focus on some other things, man. If I was you, I wouldn't release Angel Reese. Do not release that Barbie doll. Don't release it because the sales ain't gonna pop off because all people are gonna be seeing what they saw was nothing. You up here doing all that peeling, you didn't do nothing. It doesn't matter if she didn't have a lot of minutes. When she had her minutes, she should have been out there trying to play. Except for falling over herself. I mean, because like I said, just clumsy as hell. But I'm sorry for you Angel Reese fans. I mean no harm. Like I said, I do not hate Angel Reese. I think she's a cool player, role player, but I do not hate her. But let's be honest. I'm not going to be one of those people out here that just want to sit and praise her just because the color of her skin. We're not doing all that. I'm about the game. If you're gonna get called out for certain things, just like the other players, if you do good, you're gonna do good, or you're gonna be a great player, you're gonna be labeled as that. If you're not a great player, don't be trying to pretend like you're a great player and trying to get people to believe that when you're not really. You don't have. It's all just smoke. All just smoke. There's nothing behind that fire. Okay. But that's all I really have for you guys. Once again, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Make sure you guys spam in the comments. Let me know what you think. Make sure to get this video a thumb up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel. As you know, as we do, we come up here and we talk about all different topics in sports pertaining to men and women's sports. So once again, until next time, I want to thank you guys once again for